Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. I'm Michelle. Hi, Paris. Good to see you again. Hi, BP. Who's BP? Melita, is that you? Thanks, Terry.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, you're in the... Hold on.
Microphone. Okay, good. Okay, welcome. Good
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. No, I was plugged to my Bluetooth speaker, so like you just talked in the back of my room. I was like, oh.
Good morning.
It has been years, girl.
I know. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Are you guys ready to teach me some stuff about this meditation and stuff before I go running?
Yes, we are. We're ready to share this power with you. Paris is back. She joined us for the first session.
Okay.
So we'll wait a little bit for some more people to pop in.
Cool.
It started at like 10:05.
I'm going to go back on mute because I'm doing some ratchet stuff for a second.
Okay. It's so cool seeing lots of old friends join. Yeah. Hi, Victor. Wait, Nala, come here. Nala, come. You guys want to say hi to my baby? Come say hi. Nala, say hi. Hi, hi, hi. She's very excited to be here.
I see Jenny.
Hi, baby.
From the float tank. Super intuitive. Can read past lives.
Nice.
Okay. Good.
Oh, I forgot my water. Okay, you go here.
Your water?
I'm about to drink some water.
Okay.
What?
I'll get my water too.
Hello, Jeanette. Welcome, welcome.
Can you see the full screen?
Oh, yeah.
See.
Gallery.
See. Paris. Oh, hello, Jeanette. Just waiting for a few people more to jump on, then we'll start. We're going to do a practice first, led by Brennan, and then meditation, and then active affirmation, activation, and then we'll lead with the 3 guests on the second hour.
2 guests, but 3 workshops.
Yes.
Also, while we're waiting, why don't you guys go ahead? Some have returned, but just tell us where you're tuning in from in the group chat, and we can kind of see like where is everyone coming from, because we are pretty global. So in the group chat, just say where you're tuning in from. We have Russia, Vietnam, USA, UK, right? Paris is UK, Valita is the US, California, Russia, Victor. We're in Vietnam. Michelle. Jeanette. Londino. Oh, is that like mini London? Just kidding. Where's Londino? Is that a place?
Hey. Yes, London.
It's London. Okay.
Yeah. I was just setting up my light and stuff. You guys were talking to me and I thought, oh, wow, I better get on. I feel a bit bad now.
Nice. I lived in London for a while. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Michelle. Houston, Texas, back in the house. Come through. Okay, you could be Michelle. You could be Kelly. I could be Beyonce. You know. Great. Cool. Yes. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, actually, while people are tuning in, we have a couple of things we would like you to grab. If you could get a piece of paper and a pen, something to write with, 2 pieces of paper if you have them, or a piece of paper that you can like rip in half. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're going to do some writing and reflecting as part of our meditation. Right.
Live right now.
We can make this live. Should we make it live?
I feel like
we should, right? Sorry, everyone.
Let's make it live the last 3.
Wait, I can make it live right now. Hopefully our Wi-Fi.
You guys should make it live because I wanted to watch it on live instead of the Zoom, but luckily you sent me the link this morning.
Okay. Yeah, we are.
It just opens it up to have more people able to watch without the link, you know?
Yeah, and then people, like some people don't know that we're live. And
Right. You know, it gives a notification though when you go live.
I want to share on Mary's timeline because it's more efficient. So I'm like, so Mary, I'm going to share it there.
I mean, not telling you what to do, but I just think it's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we want good ideas. We're new organizers. I think we've done pretty well, but it's a lot of learning. Hold on. Fetching video stream. Okay, we're live.
Right.
It's a little delayed. I'm not gonna type anything just because we didn't plan this. Okay, so pen and paper. Hopefully it doesn't affect our connection. All right, so today the theme is self-love. So we're gonna do a little bit of a meditation and a visualization, some writing about that topic. We're gonna burn it. Okay, so to get started, let's go ahead and just close your eyes. You can set your paper off to the side for now and just sit comfortably. Sit comfortably. There's no particular way that you have to sit. Just hold your hands open on your lap. Okay. I know sitting cross-legged can be uncomfortable for people. Cross-legged is not a prerequisite for spirituality. Okay. So if you get uncomfortable, just readjust yourself. So let's just close our eyes. And just take a few moments to arrive here in this virtual space. Arrive here fully as yourself, with all of your thoughts, all of your baggage, all of your emotions. There is nothing not welcome here in this space. And we can start by just placing both of our hands towards the earth. So you can place them on the ground in front of you, to the side. You can let your arms dangle at your side if you're sitting elevated from the ground. And become aware of the space between your hands and the earth, the ground. Imagine that this tiny gap between the skin of your palms and the material beneath you is filled with a vibrant, buzzing energy that is coursing through your fingertips and your palms. Feel the gravity of the earth, the magnetism of it, anchoring you into this moment and into this space. For those who are here in the first session, you can imagine your tree. But for all of us, imagine that you are like a tree that is firmly, firmly rooted. No matter what weather is swirling outside of this tree, it does not blow over because its roots are vast and deep. And imagine that all of us here tuning in are a forest of trees. Our roots spreading out, meeting beneath the surface of the earth, exchanging energy, growing, intertwining with each other like a network of webs of roots covering the earth. And now slowly begin to lift your palms very, very slowly and pause a few inches above the earth. And again, bring your awareness to the skin of your palms. Feel as if there is this buzzing, magnetic, electric energy as all of the nerve endings are in your hands and fingertips. And imagine that from the earth, in this space between your hands, flowers, grasses begin to grow. And you are using this life force flowing through the skin of your palms to nurture these flowers and these grasses. And you can slowly begin to move your hands around in the space around you and grow this little meadow. And slowly allow your hands to rise further. and further, and flip your palms up towards the sky. Now you're lifting all of these plants. They're growing around you. Lift your hands up towards the sky. Lift your head back. Open your hands up towards the sky and imagine that you are a tree or a flower or a piece of grass, whatever resonates with you. And this life energy is flowing up from your roots through you to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to rest in the center of your chest. And here, squeeze yourself. Press against your chest. And silently within, say, I give myself permission to be here. In this space and in this time, exactly as I am. There is nothing more important than what I am doing right now. And bow to yourself. For taking this time and tuning in a world that steals us from ourselves, that tells us to work and give ourselves to others, to things outside of ourselves, and punishes us for giving all of that precious energy to ourselves. So honor how radical it is to spend 2 hours of your day dedicating to yourself. You are magical and you are powerful. And that's what we're here to do in Insideology, is help people to remember their magic and remember their inner power. So go ahead now, bring your hands back down to your lap, and we're gonna do some visualization. Visualization is just a suggestion. You are allowed to let your imagination wander however it wills. And again, society teaches us not to use our imagination. So use it today, use it here, be playful. I want you to imagine that you are in a space that is all black, and it's just you. And before you is a mirror. And I want you to walk towards this mirror. And get up very close to the mirror, about a few inches away, like you're staring into the eyes of a loved one. I want you to see yourself. Look at your hair. your brow, your forehead. Admire the wrinkles that have grown there from all of your pondering. Look at the space around your eyes, your beautiful cheekbones, your nose, your lips, your chin, your ears. Look at your body. Your shoulders, your chest, your midriff, and your arms. How much they have carried. You lift your hands to examine them in the mirror, admiring every crevice and crack, feeling how much these hands have built, how much they have held on to, how much they have created. How many meals they've prepared, how many beds they have made, how many clothes they have folded, how many things they have washed. And now I want you we're going to start to reflect. So the first thing we're going to reflect on is our outer bullies, and then we will look at our inner bullies, and then we'll move on. So first, imagine that you are standing naked. This mirror is gone. You are your most vulnerable. And there are people now surrounding you. These are your bullies in life. The people who have made you feel insecure, unprotected, the people who have said hurtful things to you, neglected you. Who are these people? Where do they come from? And now we're going to write, and I want you to just flow. So for the next minute, we're going to open our eyes and you're just going to write everything that anyone has ever said to you, either directly or indirectly, that has hurt you, that has made you feel less than, made you feel not wanted, not valuable, not protected, anything like that, okay? Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, so split your paper into 3 parts. So, or you can like rip it into 3 parts. So we're gonna have part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, so in one column, it's outer bullies, and we'll just start with that. So at the top right, the bullies outside. And Wait, where's my pen? Hold on. So anything like you are. So the bullies are speaking to you, okay? You are what? 1 minute. Try and think of everything. Even if they didn't say it, they insinuated it. Even if you just felt like a look was all it took, right? Just write it. Even if they're not bullies, but they're people who, sometimes people who love us say mean things and they don't even realize. You can also write words if there's like a specific trigger word for you that has hurt you over the years. Okay, so just wrote down some things. What's our time right now? It's at 30. Okay. So let's see. We'll just share really quick. Does anyone want to share some of the things they wrote down? I can go first. So I know this might be emotional, and that's totally okay because we're here to honor our emotions and we're here to um, release them, and we can't release them unless we really look them in the face. Yeah, so if it brings up some trauma for you, if it brings up some bad memories, this is a safe space, and like any emotion is welcome here. Okay, so I'll share a little bit of some of the stuff I wrote. My outer bullies. You're so gay, you're a little bitch, faggot, you're not black enough, you're over dramatic, you're dead to me, I'll beat your ass, fuck you, little bitch. I'm a gay man for people who don't know that, and I grew up with a lot of bullies. Like I've been to 18 schools. I had lots of bullies, including my brothers. So those are all things that I wrote. Do you want to share anything you wrote? You don't have to share if you don't want to.
I can share a couple. I've been told by a sibling that I'm a really bad sister, that I'm a bad role model, and that really hurt. I've been told, why can't you be like your cousins from my parents? Or yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else want to share?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Adriana. So that one, I'm not black enough, you're not black enough. I get that a lot, even from family members. So that's really hard for me. And just not believing that I was smart enough to do what my cousins have done. And, you know, they've all graduated and stuff through with master's degrees and things like that. So not feeling smart enough from societal pressures and things like that as well.
Okay, yeah, it's hard. I think I can relate to you as a mixed race person. You know, being in a like perpetual gray area, you know, and it's like coming out of the closet. It's a never-ending journey. You always have to tell people. I always have to tell people I'm gay. I always have to tell people I'm black. I always have to answer people's questions about it. Like, you know, like I always have to defend my black. So I totally relate with that.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. We're gonna plug in some headphones. Okay, so the next part is we want to look at how the outer bullies have shaped our internal dialogue, right? This is called our inner saboteur, right? And so we want to look at looking in this mirror. What are the things we say to ourselves, okay? And how do we bully ourselves? And I want you to really, really be honest and vulnerable with yourself, because you don't have to share this. Everyone is free to keep it to themselves. But take this chance. What are the things that you say to limit yourself? When you want to rise, when you want to do something, what do you say? Do you say, you're not good enough? You're not black enough. You can't do that. You are a bad role model. You ruin everything. You know, what are the things that you have come to tell yourself? Okay, so once again, I'll just share mine, and if you're comfortable, share yours. I'll share some, just because I know people aren't, but I have no problem sharing. So I said, you'll never find love. You are too dramatic for people, so you should stay away from them. You hurt everyone. You are too weak, and you cannot defend yourself. You are very skinny. You should be more buff. You should be bigger. You're annoying. Everything you post is annoying, and everyone is annoyed by you. Those are things that I tell myself, My inner bullies can come up and say. Anyone else want to share?
I can share mine if you guys can hear me okay. This is kind of weak. Okay. All right. So I put down 3 that I'm going to share. I put, you are not desired. Your voice is not important, and you're too weird.
Carolina?
Okay.
Wait. Adriana? Okay.
Hi.
Wait, hold on one second.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Adriana.
Okay. I put, you don't have the space or time. I think that's a lie we all tell ourselves. You will fail. No one will support your decision. No one will understand. You don't have the money for that. And I put, you're too bossy.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Carolina, is it Carolina? No, she's muted. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Carolina. It can be Caro as well. So I'm always saying that I will fuck it up again, or I will be never able to do it. That I won't have enough funds to do some stuff, and yeah, that I won't achieve this.
I can't afford. That's a big one. I can't afford that. I can't do that. Good. Thank you guys for sharing. I know that this is can be tough to share, but also empowering. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Oh, if anyone wants to share in the chat, yeah, you can. You are not lovable. I'm not good enough, and you are a failure. Okay. Yeah. So raise your hand if what anyone has shared, something has resonated with you. If you've experienced that. See? So sometimes it might feel like bullies make us feel alone, right? Bullies make us feel like we're the only one with these problems. And probably we see other people's lives as so much better. But the people that, everyone's got their own inner saboteur, and so everyone's probably dealing with their own inner insecurities. So now we're going to try to reframe these things. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. And again, imagine you at any age where bullying was prevalent in your life, again, indirectly or directly, and what did you need someone to say to you? What did you want someone to say to you? If your adult self showed up on the playground or in that bedroom or in that house, if yourself now showed up, your inner hero, yourself now, and could take that person that was hurt, this younger person, this younger you, this other you, and say all the reassuring things, right? All the things you want to hear. What would this person say? What would they say? What would you want this person, this hero of yours, to have said to you in all of these times that all of these things were said, either inside of yourself or outside? Go ahead and write those things down. What would your inner hero, that's the third thing, your inner hero say? Okay. So now we can share some of them. Your inner hero, your inner, what you would wish someone would have said. For me, it's you are the most kind person. You are so powerful. You are magnetic and everything you do is awesome. You are everything. You are perfect as you are. You are never too much and just enough. You're safe to feel whatever you feel. I support you and I love you.
I'm going to list 3 of mine. I put, you are brave, you are powerful, and you are whole, just as you are.
Anyone else? Okay, so final meditation. Now with your microphones muted in your space, if you feel comfortable, I want you to, you're gonna read these things, your inner hero statements out loud to yourself, okay? But first, close your eyes. And I want you to come back to that mirror space where it's just you and the mirror. Observe yourself. And look at yourself and just look at what a wonderful creature you are. Go ahead and just open your eyes and read your statements with conviction and with power. Look yourself in the eyes in your imagination and say these things to you, okay? So I'll just say them with my inside. And if it helps, you can place one hand on your heart. And with each word, with each phrase, give yourself a breath. Allow it to sink in. And when you're done, you can close your eyes, place both of your hands back on the center of your heart. And look at yourself again in the mirror. And within, you can just repeat what I say to yourself. You can say, "Dear self, thank you for always standing by my side. For walking beside me through all of my struggles. You have seen me at my best, and you have seen me at my worst. You know my pain, and you know my joy. You have never left my side. With you, I am never alone. No one can love me like you do. No one can see me like you do. You are everything to me. And I love you. Thank you for waking up next to me every day, for sharing every meal and every moment. And then just bring your hands down and just allow these words to be absorbed into your cells. Imagine that these words are like medicine that has been injected into your heart and is now flowing through your body. This self-love. We're going to go ahead and allow that to flow as we pass the mic over to Mary.
I want you guys to keep closing your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. 2 more, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 1 more. Now I'm going to count from 10 to 1, and at 1, you're going to come into a deep consciousness, and I'm going to take you into activating your new reality with self-love and self-transformation. So, keep your eyes closed. 10. Body is getting heavier. 9. Sinking deeper and deeper. 8. Going lower and lower. 7. Falling down, down, down. 6. Body totally relaxed. 5. Arms feeling limp. Legs are feeling limp. 4. Sinking deeper. 3. All the way down. 2. Fully relaxed. Fully grounded. 1. Coming into deep, deep, deep awareness. In this space, we are now becoming aware of our wholeness, transformation, and remembrance. We are going to tune into love, hope, peace, support, self-love, self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-forgiveness, willpower, courage, reason. There is no room for judgment. There are no fears. There is no separation. Now let's pull our self-limiting beliefs one more time to the surface to be released. Any beliefs that you've worked on that stems from I am not enough. Any words, the critic inside that says I am not talented enough, or that I am not successful, or I am not intelligent, I can't do this, or the fear of being judged for who you are, or that you're not good enough to deserve. Enough of this. We are dropping, dissolving, shifting these beliefs from your mind, from your body. We are making the shift from the self-critic to the good coach, to the inner hero. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. The fact that you are here right now, you are stepping into your purpose. The fact that you exist right here, right now, is your purpose. To have the freedom to express yourself in any way you please. You are more than your body. You are more than just your name. You are more than your gender, more than your sexuality, more than your past. You are limitless. I am limitless. I am whole. I am beautiful inside and out. I am intelligent. I am enough. I am powerful. It is my duty to thrive and to prosper. I am enough. I am vibrationally aligned with my potential. As you are open and receptive to these shifts, it becomes your new reality. The better I see myself, the better it gets. The more open I am to loving myself, the more loving my relationships get. I am making a conscious decision to see my wholeness from now on. I call myself out. I am love. I don't have to do anything to ask for love. I simply choose to be it within myself from now on. Take a deep breath in and out. We are dissolving these self-limiting beliefs once again. Let these beliefs, all these doubts, these self-critic, let them dissolve right now. Drop, release, and let go from your body. We are now sitting with this energy to absorb into a new reality that feels full, where you can tune in to your wholeness. I am enough. Let's take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And at 1, you'll simply and slowly open your eyes. 10, we're going up. 9, waking up a little bit. 8, rising higher. 7, waking up a little more. 6, feeling the tingles and the warmth around your body. 5, being conscious and aware of the room that you're in. 4, rising higher. 3, coming back alive. 2, being conscious of your breath, your lungs, and your heart. 2, waking up. 1, open your eyes slowly and give yourself some time to absorb this energy. Let it shift. Okay. So we just finished the first hour of this meditation of self-love and transforming from the inside. So as we shift, does anybody have any thoughts, comments to share? We'd love to hear from you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. I just the one where we're like writing out the different kind of stages, that was really interesting, you know, like for kind of discovery as to how all those things affect you and your internal dialogue and everything. And I actually, what really touched me was the actual hero part. So when I was thinking of those words, it bring a little tears to my eyes, because I thought, yeah. And then you kind of connect with your inner hero and you're like, yeah, you know. And yeah, I suppose it just makes you realize even more, like, you know, how it kind of hurt, that pain, because you realize how much that the reverse of that would have meant to you at that time, and like how you can put that in your life now and everything like that. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Always love a little bit of tears. Always love
Yeah, I've had that kind of day, actually, bit of a transformational one, so it's all in sync.
Nice. Anyone else want to share? Okay, so I actually wanted from Michelle, this was so powerful. Working through it in this way has really allowed me to feel the shift. Thank you. You're welcome, Michelle. I just wanted to read a very quick poem and then we'll jump into these workshops, because I remembered I wrote this poem and I just wanted to share it because it was related to self-love. Okay, so you can all just kind of close your eyes and hear, because feel the imagery. Okay. So close your eyes, and you are beautifully human, imperfectly perfect, a story with chapters of unfurling madness, unraveling joy, and unending meaning. You are syllables of laughter spouted like droplets of water from the spigot of the poet's mouth. You are soliloquies of silly stories, a life like this paper upon which this poem is written, mistakes scribbled in ink-covered blotches, parchment filled with imperfect personal meaning. As the mind of the writer, searching aimlessly to pluck fragmented thought from the tree of inspiration, and weave stories imperfectly perfect, The artist never seeks perfection in his inscription of you. The painter's hand is never truly steady. It is the many imperfect pixels, like rustled leaves fell from trees, like unkempt hairs from braided heads, like the cacophony of music in the morning blue. As such, you are. So, I wanted to dedicate that poem to everyone and say, you are human, you are imperfectly perfect. So embrace all of your imperfections because this world is imperfect and it just makes you beautiful. So that concludes our main session for the day. And now we'll jump into Carlos. Let's go ahead and try to take a little screenshot. Would any of the blackened screens like to show yourself just for a little picture? If not, it is okay. I just want to take a screenshot so we can post it. Anyone want to share their photo? Hi.
Look at all these beautiful people.
Yes, Jasmine, Michelle, Lexi, Vaughn, no. Yes, Lexi.
Ooh, pass.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay, anyone else? Susan? Yaya, hey, Yaya, yes. Okay, so let's all get a little heart going and I'll take a screenshot, send in some love, send some love out into the virtual space, out into the world, smile. I can't hear if I'm taking screenshots. I hope I am. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yay. All right. So nice to see everyone. So let's see. Where did Carlos go? Did we lose him?
He's right there.
Ah, there you are. I was like, tiny people.
So teeny.
Hey, Carlos. Good to see you. Hey, Devon. So happy to have you guys here. Let me go ahead and unmute you. Hope we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear us?
Yes, we can. Great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's good to be here. Brennan, thank you for doing this, man.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here. It's really cool what you're doing here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to introduce you. So for those who don't know, Carlos is a movement teacher, and he's like a mentor and source of inspiration for me. And I'm sure he'll talk about his journey, but like seeing, like I got into yoga a few years ago, and just seeing how like Carlos is a yoga teacher, but he really just like breaks, like, just breaks, shatters yoga and is like, just go into your own body and like explore. And so just meeting someone with such a philosophy has really shattered my own limitations in my own movement practice and really helped me to cultivate and develop my own, style of movement through my own instrument. I think that's so important. It's one of the inspirations behind this movement for me is the fact that so many people consume wellness culture and they don't produce it. We are all able to produce wisdom and produce knowledge through this spiritual instrument that is ours. And a lot of times we get so busy going to yoga studios and going to gurus and reading books and thinking that this knowledge and this wisdom is outside of us, but we're really just getting the knowledge and wisdom that someone got from themselves. And instead of doing that, instead of coming up with our own way, we, give our power in a way over to other people. And so when I heard Carlos talk about that, I was like, he really articulated something that really is in alignment with my biggest inspiration as a spiritual guide, to teach people like, you are powerful. I'm nothing more than you. I'm just like a mirror showing you your own likeness. So thank you for being here, Carlos.
Wow. Thank you. That was totally humbling to hear. Yeah, it's almost like what I don't want to hear right before I teach, because I want to go there and you said a lot, and you said, I think enough. So what I really wanted to do for today, since we don't have a lot of time, we only have a few minutes, and since what we're really talking about is something that is, by definition, beyond words. I mean, and it's funny, it feels like I constantly spend my time trying to take something that is beyond words and translating that into them, and usually clumsily and usually not very well. So what I wanted to do for the next 15 minutes, what we spoke about is move, is try to lead you towards the doorway of an experience, because we can never fully have it for you. What Brennan was saying is anybody that's ever had any kind of spiritual experience, it's all come through one life, through one body, through one physical existence. And yours is as special of an expression of that life as any other has ever been. So instead of talking about it, I wanted to move through it. I'll talk as we move. But don't worry about doing it right. Look for that adventure. Look for that place inside to explore. That place that feels delicious. That place that feels sacred but not serious. Almost like you've snuck in on something so beautiful that's been uncovered in front of you that you can't wait to play with this new toy. And that's what we're talking about. A way to look at yourself, a way to understand yourself for the magical thing that you are. Yeah? So if you're ready, go ahead and sit comfortably, legs crossed preferably, but it doesn't have to. Rest your hands softly on your knees, because we're going to move quickly. But at least pause for a second. Let your eyes soften. Just in kind of an acknowledgement that we're about to go into a special place, a place that's always here, but we're rarely fully aware of. Into the place underneath your skin. Into the world inside you. The infinite garden of experience available to you at all times. Let your breath be full. Let your skin be soft. Take a deep inhale. Let your ribs inflate and float up away from your pelvis. And stay full and big, and let the exhale be just a softening of that. And one more time, deep full in. And soft exhale. Good. Keep breathing. I'm going to keep talking. So there's these relationships in your body. There's a magical intelligence that's deep. But the language of that intelligence is a language that most of us have forgotten. So how to reawaken, not how to make your body something that it's not, but how to tap back into that intelligence, where we're moving from a deep connected place. Bring your fingertips lightly to your knees. And now let your knees be heavy. And now the space right above your pubic bone, let that space curl up just a millimeter. And then let your upper body lean back just until you feel the muscles of your belly not crunch down, but just turn on naturally on their own to keep you from falling. Soften the very front of your ribs back. And let your knees be heavy. Your thighs are going to want to lift. Let your knees be. And let yourself rock over towards your left butt just a millimeter. And imagine you can curl your right pubic bone up so your right butt lifts just a smidge away from the floor. And then exhale, come back through center. Roll over to your right butt just a millimeter. Curl your left pubic bone up. Keep the knees heavy, as if you're trying to just make your left butt lighter. And then hollow through center. Back to the other side. Curl your right butt away from the floor as little as you can. Back through center, other side. You can let your arms float out in front. Let them be soft. And imagine that your movement is a pulse, is a breath. Like you're sailing your breath and sailing gravity. Keep your knees. Good. Come back through center. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale. Lift your chest. Widen through your collarbones. And then exhale. Let the outsides of your body curl in as you soften back. One more time. Inhale and widen. Exhale. Curl back. Inhale. Come back to neutral. Again, let the space right above your pubic bone curl. And it's not a lot. It's a millimeter. It's so slight, it's almost imperceptible. And then lean back till you feel your belly start to tense. Now soften your ribs back, knees stay heavy. Bring your arms out in front of you like genie arms. That's stage 2. Now keep the lean back. Keep the tension in the abdominal wall. And let your mouth open. And now take deep breaths as if you're trying to push that breath into your low back. For 3. For 2. For 1. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, lift your chest wide. And as you exhale now, take your legs out in front of you, knees still bent, feet are soft. Keep your hands on your knees for support. So we're trying to keep the front of the hips turned off. So it's the belly that's working, not the pelvis. So keep your hands on your knees. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, that space right above your pubic bone, let it curl. Let your knees and feet stay heavy. Roll over towards your right side this time. Curl your left pubic bone. Left butt just goes left. Back to the other side. Curl your right. Keep the feet down. You can take your arms off and go side to side. Curling back through the pubic bone. Letting one butt lift. Side. Side. So there's relationships through the body. There's a relationship on the front and back, on the sides, and through the spirals. And there's intelligence there we're trying to awaken. Go soft, let it feel good and as easy as you can. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, lift your chest wide. Exhale, soften back. Cross your ankles. Roll over your legs. Come to all fours, hands and knees. As you come to all fours, let your hands be soft. Turn your hands in slightly. So it's going to be different. Don't worry about what you're used to. This is something to explore. Turn your hands in slightly. Let the inner edge of your hand lift. Soften your elbows. Spin your shoulder blades till your elbows point more back towards your knees. Slide back so your shoulders are behind your hands. Hollow your low belly. Curl your pubic bone. And as you slide your pelvis back, push into your hands to let your low belly hollow more. As you inhale, let your body inflate. Arms stay soft. And as you exhale, curl your pubic bone, hollow your belly, push through your hands to hollow back. Inhale, inflate forward. Exhale, curl and hollow back. This time, take a little bit more weight to your right hand. Push your right hand and left knee down and in opposite direction. So you're pushing your right hand away from you at a diagonal. Slide your hips back and use the push of your hand to hollow and curl into your left pubic bone more. And now when a breath comes to you, inhale, inflate yourself forward towards your right hand. Exhale, push through your hand, hollow back. Let your left arm be soft and heavy. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, hollow and curl back. How efficient and connected can you make it? Go ahead and switch. Take your weight over to your left hand. Left hand and right knee push down and away from each other. Right arm is soft. Use the push of the hand to hollow and curl into your right very low belly more. And then let your inhale inflate you forward. Keep some of the curl in your pubic bone as you move forward and back. And now feel free to go side, side, or forward and back. Let your breath inflate and guide the movement. Let the rest of your body go along for the ride. Use one of these rolls. Keep the pubic bone, low belly hollow. Lift your hips up. Lift your knees up. Keep the weight on the outside of the hands, on the pinky moon of the hands, with your inner edge of your hand lifted like the arch of your foot. Soften your elbows. Keep the low belly hollow. Let your hips sway side to side. Use that side to side sway. Sway yourself all the way over towards your hands and fold forward over your legs. Soften the knees. Keep the weight on the outside edges of the feet, but even here, see if you can give yourself to gravity more and allow your low belly to drop up away from the floor. Inhale, come halfway up. Bring your hands to your knees. With your hands on your knees, let yourself rest there for a second. Keep the knees soft. Keep the knees wider than the toes. Let your low belly hollow back, pelvis back. Let the front of your ribs soften into the back of your body. Keep that so your low back stays softly rounded. Inhale, let your wings softly open to the sides. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reverse skydive halfway up. Use your breath, ride your breath. Exhale, float down. One more. Inhale, reverse skydive. Exhale, float down. Inhale, this time roll all the way up, arms to the sky. Exhale, arms by your sides. Line up your feet right underneath your pelvis. Turn your toes in slightly so the inner ankles are lifted and the weight's on the outsides of your feet. Soften your knees. Slide the top and bottom of your pelvis back, sitting bones towards each other so the knees go wide. Bend the knees, let the arms float out in front of you, vortex chair. Find the pulse here. Your outer hips are connected to your outer feet. Keep the weight there. Sitting bones towards each other. Come up tall. Let your wings open. Exhale, vortex chair, ribs back, pelvis back. Find the pulse. One more. Sitting bones towards each other. Open the legs. Exhale, vortex chair, pelvis back, ribs back. Find the soft pulse. Shift your weight into the outer edge of your left foot. Hug your left sitting bone back towards your right sitting bone so it wraps back. Good. Keep the weight of your head over your left foot. Imagine you can pull up from your inner right ankle. Float your inner right thigh up. Let your upper body spin towards your right leg. Left knee softly bent. Good. Bring your right foot down. Shift your weight to the outside of your right foot. Keep the weight of your head over the outside of the foot. Inhale, soft lift of the inner fabric of your left thigh. Exhale, foot down, back into the left, outer edge of left foot. Stay soft. Inhale as if you're pulling from your inner right foot. This time, bring your left hand to your right knee. Make a fist with your right hand. Push the right fist down. Lift your belly. Pull yourself up out of your pelvis. Exhale, release the knee, cross the ankle over the knee. Soften the pelvis back. Inhale, float the right inner thigh up. Turn your upper body towards the right. Exhale, right foot down. Shift your hips back into the right. Inhale, float the inner left thigh up softly. Right hand, right knee. Push your left fist down. Lift tall out of your belly. Exhale, release the leg. Cross the ankle. Soften your pelvis back. Inhale, float the inner left thigh up. Exhale, foot down. Shift your hips back into the left. Inhale, float the inner right thigh up softly. Exhale, cross the ankle. Spiral your upper body slightly to the left. Inhale, float the inner right knee up. Spiral your body to the right. Exhale, follow the foot down. Shift your hips back into the right. Inhale, float the inner left thigh. Exhale, cross the ankle. Inhale, float it back up again. This time, reach long with the left foot, go into a wide stance. Keep your pelvis back, hips back, slide side to side. Keep the ribs softened back, your pubic bone slightly curled, your pelvis stays way back. Let your arms float out in front of you soft. Slide the inner left thigh back, open the right armpit away from the right hip. Let your left arm dangle, let your right arm dangle. Go longer through your right side, head goes heavy, but keep dancing. Slide your pelvis back, breathe into your right lung, so your right side is long and rainbow. As you exhale, elephant down through center, right arm to the inner right thigh, let your left side go long. Slide your pelvis back, keep dancing, breathing into your left lung. Now move on your breath through center, elephanting through center. Open through the right side. Down through center. Open through the left side. Back and down. Use your breath like you're sailing your movement. For 3. For 2. For 1. Let your elephants come all the way down to the floor. Walk your feet back. Bring your knees down. Come back to sit. Close your eyes. Soften into your breath. Let yourself settle. There's a living magic underneath your skin. There's an infinite world full of adventures that you'll never get to the end of. The truth about any practice, any meditation, any religion, any spiritual insight, what they're trying to point to is already inside you. So the whole trick of the game is how to trick you. So you just for a second turn around and see yourself truly for what you really are. And if you do that, you're going to fall absolutely in love. Take a deep inhale. A soft exhale. Let your eyes blink open. Thank you, guys. We started a little bit late, so I hope you guys felt something nice in the way that we were able to move. There's more. If you have questions, we'd love to answer any of the questions that you have. We have a Facebook group that we talk about these things all the time, that there's classes, long classes, 2-hour workshops, lots of little bits and pieces of how to understand that the magic is already inside and how to touch into that magic, not as a way of doing it right or wrong, but as a way to explore and uncover and discover it, not as a leap of faith, but as a true experience of that magic. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back. We'll be back doing more of a touch release and still talking about the magic underneath the skin for another 15-minute session. Last session of this hour. So I think at the 40, whatever time it is for you guys. So thank you guys so much. Our Facebook group, ask Reddit for our Facebook group. He'll give you guys all the information you need.
Yeah, and everyone, it's okay. Everyone has gone a little bit longer, so it's totally fine as long as everyone's able to absorb whatever they can absorb. So that was great. I want to share, like, when we were doing this thing, I could feel like, oh, that's a problem area. Like, that felt really nice. Did anyone else feel something interesting that maybe they never felt before, or just felt like it was needed, Adriana?
Yeah, I honestly, I just started doing Kundalini not too long ago, to kind of open up my channels and enhance my healing powers. But I haven't been, in this quarantine, haven't been doing it as much as I probably would like to be. But the movements are just, it just is a channel opener. It really opens up the channels and just allows the energy to flow through you. So I definitely feel a lot of energy flowing through me right now. So thank you for that, guys. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. And that's the whole idea. I mean, the thing is, I think a lot of times we get stuck in yoga as a set of answers, or in a practice as a set of answers, when I think the beauty of it isn't in the answers. It's in the questions. The answers should evolve. So Kundalini, they weren't wrong, but a lot of times it's like we take someone's experience, and that was from a culture, someone that talked about it because of an accident of birth, being born in a specific culture. But I'm not looking to recreate their experience. I'm like interested in, wow, they had that experience. I want to know what they experienced. I want to know how to have that experience for myself, because it is universal. Practices are cultural. The human experience, that spiritual human experience of uncovering that magic, is universal. And when you move like this, you're like, oh, well, there's no real circle of green light rolling around anywhere in my body. But I could tell when one of these guys came back from the jungle of having one of these deep experiences, trying to explain it to somebody, and they were like, dude, I don't know. It was like, I felt some energy moving. It was like warm, and it had colors. It felt like it was red. And that's what they came back with. And those are the stories. So the stories are a hint into that doorway, not the destination. That's really beautiful, Adriana. Thank you.
Yeah, and I feel like, to add on to that, like, there are many pathways up the same mountain, right? And so, you know, you might find you stumble upon one pathway and then later it's closed for the season, right? And so we're all of our instruments, there's like always a balance between universality and uniqueness, you know? And so it's really about exploring your own instrument, and like what this guru thousands of years ago, like how whatever pathway they stumbled upon this experience doesn't necessarily mean that that's the pathway for everyone, you know? And so it's about like exploring through your own instrument. Like I tend to be a very physical person, so for me, like doing movement can, you know, really speak to me. But if someone's like doing art really makes their kundalini rise, like, you know, Sahaja Yoga, I teach Kundalini yoga, but it's not like Kundalini yoga, it's Sahaja Yoga. And I've left that paradigm, I've left that dogma, because I'm like, wow, like the Kundalini is universal. And the fact to think that this is the only way to experience that is actually extremely limiting, and it diminishes the infinite potential for, you can have a Kundalini awakening watching a sunset, you know, being moved by a beautiful piece of music or like a poem, you know? So thank you for sharing that with us, and yeah, giving people just another little taste of, yeah, the magic that is there.
Absolutely. And I think what you said was so beautiful. And that's the thing. It's like, be inspired, but be inspired to find it for yourself, not to imitate. And I think that's the thing, because no one is ever going to have that. Like, that's the whole idea, that the whole experience of life, your experience of life, like, it can only be by you. No one can ever have that experience for you. I'll say a quick mythology of, in the old Knight's Tales, when like the Knights of King Arthur would go on their quest on the hero's journey, that they would go out for the Grail. When they would go out for their adventure, they would all search for the part of the forest that was the darkest, that there was no path. Because if it's already a path, it's not your path. That's been someone else's path already. And that was in the Grail legends. Like, that's the thing. Like, these knights, for their own hero's journey, were inspired to go out on the quest. But the entranceway to like that own personal, unique place was not in the footsteps of the men of old, but being inspired by what they sought to find the unique expression of that universal experience. So it's beautiful.
It's very beautiful. So did someone else want to share something?
Jasmine?
Jasmine, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to Devon and Carlos and to you guys, because I saw your page, Carlos and Devon, a few weeks ago, and it honestly already changed my life so much, because I was like, I felt so stiff and sore for my whole life, and I was diagnosed, whatever that means, with a disease called spondylitis ankylosing, which is something inflammation of the spine. Well, I mean, everything is just a label when it comes to disease, right? But right now, for the first time of my life, I feel like with your help, guys, it's like I'm accepting myself, and through acceptance, my muscles and my body is getting softer. And yeah, it's kind of crazy, because this is something so challenging in my life, and I found you and your teachings and the teaching of Chris Fox, and and I'm just beyond grateful for sorry, my English is not that good. I'm from Germany. And I don't even know if you guys can understand what impact you have on my life, because yeah, it's just thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, that touches both of us as deeply, because I mean, that's the whole idea. But the truth is, thank your body too, because that's where the real magic is. And I laugh because it wasn't anything that we created. It really feels like something that has just, that we've discovered something, and we were ignorant enough to ask questions that people had not asked. And I was just kind of like stupid enough, and like the little kid about saying that the emperor's got no clothes, to question and uncover the connection between the philosophy that sounds so beautiful and the movement that didn't make sense to me. But I wanted it to be that, to watch you do that, to watch someone light up, not because they hit an arm balance, but because they're like, oh
Right.
my God, in awe of like this. And that's the area. That's where you see God. Or at least that's the most intimate, close place. You can see it in the sunset, but how cool when we see it here.
Yeah. So before we jump into Adriana, I just wanted to add, like, I've lived, I relate so much with your story, Jasmine. Like, I've lived with chronic pain, and I was telling Mary today, because I did a movement meditation this morning, and when I was getting ready, I was rolling out and releasing some tension here, and I've been able to just discover all of these connections. And what I found is beautiful is, like, I had chronic pain for 6 years, and none of the doctors could diagnose it. I had all these MRIs and X-rays, and what I found is that they can't help me because this is in my body, and my body is unique, and I am not, what is in here cannot be discovered through diagnostics, right? It has to be discovered through my own self-discovery. And one of the beautiful things about having chronic pain is it's forced me to explore my body, because no one has been able to help me, and so by tuning into all of these places that get stuck from our everyday lives, and I think movement has become so integral to my spiritual journey, and I'm so passionate about sharing that. So when I met Carlos, it was like the first time someone just articulated or reflected kind of what I had felt, and I think that's what makes it so powerful. And I think as healers, we're really just holding a mirror to people. We're not like, giving them something necessarily, but showing them what, there's like a little whisper, like, I'm here, and we don't know how to answer that. And so we're just giving you a mirror, and so finally, when you feel that magic and you feel that release, you're like, whoa, and it's a really beautiful thing. So I'm so happy to know that people are tuning into their bodies. And I think a lot of meditation is so sedentary, and it's really sad. It's like, we're mobile, so like, move and meditate, combine those things, and it can just like open up so much more. But thank you guys for that. We will be late. Every session has ended about half an hour late. You can come and go as you please. We're totally here for it, because what is time? What is more important from this? And I love it. So we're going to jump into Adriana. Adriana and I met here in Vietnam, and we just hit it off. And I felt like meeting you really like changed my life. Like a lot of people that I've invited here, you were like, I invited you over, and you were like, oh, let's go do a new moon meditation. And we went up and did a meditation, and you invited me to say affirmations. And I remember we went around and shared our affirmations, and I had this like aha moment. Like I was like, I have never sat on my roof with a group of adults and did a new moon meditation and had affirmations. And it really changed my life. And you know, you were like, you looked at me and you were like, you are a healer, you know, and I see that in you. And so I've always felt that. And just to have someone say that to me and to reach out to me and say, you know, call out to your soul tribe. And I was telling Mary today, because I met Mary after you left, and I feel like we're just like soul siblings. And I was like, I remember meeting Adriana and having this meditation on my roof, and since then I've just met people who just are spiritually in tune with me. And before that, I was like, I don't have any friends, everyone likes to drink, and nothing deeper than that, you know. So I'm just so grateful to have met you, even though we met just once, and to have you here. So go ahead and introduce what you're going to talk about.
Well, I'm really grateful to be here. I honestly was just going to talk about a lot of what we've already been talking about. So I'm just going to roll with it. I have a ton of notes, but I don't think I'm going to need them. I think that when we start exploring ourselves on an energetic level, a lot of times we start to feel disconnected from our friends, from our family, from the people around us, and we start to get into the state of loneliness. But it's amazing what you can do when you put out your intentions. So before I met Brennan, I had put out the intentions. I called out to my soul tribe, and I said, I'm no longer walking through this alone. I'm putting a call out to my soul tribe. And I met Brennan, and I've met a ton of different healers, of people across all different modalities. So I personally, my first experience with energy healing was through Reiki, and that is what I practice. I am a Reiki practitioner here in California. But you know, Reiki is one of many forms of energy work, and what we're doing here right now is energy work. That body movement is energy work. And I've found that through exploring different things, that the energy moves freely through me through many different forms. So the physical form of it has been through Kundalini recently, but it's also more than that. It's a physical, mental, emotional body. For those of you who aren't really familiar with Reiki, it is a spiritual practice. And as a practitioner, what I do is I channel source energy. So I work very hard on keeping my channels cleared through different methods. But I'm really just a conduit. So I connect with source energy, and I work to filter it through to different parts of your body. But the body is amazing, and it really is self-healing. So when we allow the source energy to come into us, it's going to go to the places it needs to be. We don't really need to direct it, but as an intuitive person, I can actually feel a lot of places in the body where people hold blockages. What we do in Reiki is we start by really clearing out your chakras or your energy centers, working from the crown through the root. And when I hit a place in someone's body, I can feel that energy. I can feel where they're holding on to these blockages. And what blockages are they're caused by different things. So stress overload can cause blockages. Unhealed traumas is a huge one that causes blockages, and toxic and negative thought patterns, which I think we all fall victim to, really create blockages in our bodies. But what we can do is really create an environment for our body to heal. So that's what I do as a practitioner. I'm really only creating an environment for your body to heal. It's like if you cut your finger and you ignore it, it will fester, and it will turn into something that is going to be harder to heal. It's going to take longer. It's going to be more painful for you. In the same way that we allow if we clean that cut and create an environment, a clean environment, it's going to heal itself very quickly. But it's the same thing with emotional trauma. And I think that a lot of people ignore that in ourselves. You know, we get hurt by people, and instead of facing that and creating an environment of healing, we bury it. So I know that we did some, I don't know if anybody was tuning in yesterday, but we did some tapping. That's also a form of energy healing that I really, really love. And it's great for deep emotional trauma. So I didn't want to talk too much about just Reiki, because I think that what we need is what comes into our lives. When we put out the intention to heal, what comes to us is what we need. So if you are putting out an intention to heal and you come across a Reiki practitioner, that's great. That's probably the person you need to work with. If you're coming across someone who practices tapping, that's probably what you need to go with. So it's really just based on intuition. So much of energy healing is based on intuition. So I think it's really about more of keeping your intuition or your intention in mind when you're and connecting with source and allowing that source to guide you. I really wanted to do a Reiki session with you guys and move energy through all of your chakras, but that's very time consuming. It takes at least 30 minutes to do that. But I thought that we would focus on one specific area. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the heart chakra and why it's so important. It is our center chakra. It is the chakra that connects our lower chakras, which is our connection to earth and our survival and our security, to our upper chakras, which is how we connect with source energy and get intuitive guidance. So you need to stay inside. Sorry guys, my little niece is trying to come outside. But the heart chakra is very, very important. As a healer, this is where we work from. When we connect with people through the heart chakra. There's different things that cause disharmony within the heart chakra. So we could have, a lot of it is trauma, right? So we deal with trauma and hold on one second, guys. So disharmony in the heart chakra can be caused through emotional, physical abuse, and things like that. But we can also have an overactive heart chakra, which people don't really normally think about, but it could be known as the bleeding heart. And as energy sensitives, a lot of us have this bleeding heart where we want to help the world, and we feel all the suffering of the world, and it's held here. Yes, it's held here in the heart. And sometimes we give love inappropriately. We overgive ourselves. That is imbalance in the heart chakra. We also don't notice sometimes, even when we have a balanced heart chakra. This is something that I've been dealing with personally with myself, is that my heart chakra is balanced, but I see the highest potential in any and everybody around me, which is fine, but then you start to try and hold people to those standards. So we can't really hold people to a standard. Every one of us is a budding Buddha, right? Every one of us is on our own personal journey to understand ourselves. But Reiki's been really great in helping me to connect and understand this disharmony that I'm feeling within myself. And then to be able to be a practitioner and help other people to understand where they may be feeling this disharmony is also something that's been really great for me. I'm so grateful to be a conduit for source energy and to help people heal. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what Reiki is a little bit more. Reiki is, we use different things. So we use sweeping hand movements to move energy. We may use light touch. There's different hand positions for different places in your body. And we also use symbols. So there's different symbols that you can use to increase your power. And there's also a symbol that you can use to send distance healing. So even though we're not in the same room with each other right now, I am sending Reiki energy to you all. So if you're open to receiving that, open up and just, it's coming to you and it's going to provide healing. And I also just wanted to take a moment to kind of walk you guys through another meditation to help you connect with your heart space and release anything that you may be holding inside of you. So I'm going to ask you to take your left hand and place it right under the navel point on your sacral chakra, and your right hand and put it right in the center of your chest, right? And go ahead and close your eyes. Right now, what we're doing is we're going to create a connection in our lower chakras into our upper chakras. We're going to invite source energy to work through us. And this energy is going to release all the negative blockages that we've been holding on to. And we're going to release that into Mother Earth, because Mother Earth has the power to transform all these things that we've been holding on to. And it's going to create a positive energy and spread that over the world. Okay, so our negativity can be transformed into something positive. We no longer need to hold on to it. Okay. And release it. I'm going to ask you to envision a big golden sphere of light right above your head. This light is the source energy. Source energy is infinite and powerful. It is never ending. Anytime you need this source, it is available to you. I'm going to ask you to open up your crown chakra and allow the source energy to enter in through your crown. It is going to work its way through the crown chakra, removing any mental clutter and chatter. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Know that any answers that you are seeking are inside of you and will be illuminated by this source energy. There is no need to seek outside of yourself for your answers. There's no need to let that tape play in your head. Source has all the answers for you. You have all the answers within yourself. You are connected to Source. I'm going to ask you to envision that golden ball sinking down right into your heart center. It is bright. It is illuminating you. You may start to feel some grief in this area. You may find some feelings that are unsettling, feelings that have been buried. I'm going to ask you to not become a victim of those feelings anymore. I'm going to ask you to give those feelings to the source and let the source transform them into something better. If you have been grieving, allow the source to heal you. Source energy has the power to take the grief. If you're feeling rejected, if you have feelings of betrayal, release those to source energy. Let that light, feed that darkness to the light. If you are holding on to anger against another person, this is blocking your heart. You are no longer receiving. Allow yourself to receive. Feed that darkness to the light. Allow the source energy to work in you and remove those blockages. You don't need them anymore. The anger, you don't need it anymore. For those people who've betrayed you or hurt you, show gratitude for the lessons that you've learned. Forgive them for their transgressions. and thank them for the part they played in your life. We no longer need to hold on to these feelings of grief, of anger. Let them go to source. I want you to envision that source energy working its way down through your solar plex chakra. Allow that golden sphere of light to work its way through your sacral chakra. Allow that light to hit your root chakra. Now envision that light flowing down, down, down through the bottom of your feet. Release all the negative blockages and energy through the bottom of your feet and feed it to the earth. Allow the earth to take those blockages and transform it into beauty. As we're coming out of this meditation, I'm going to ask you to take in a deep breath. And when you let out, I want you to make this sound. Really let it be auditory. Deep breath in. Release. You can feel that vibration in the chest. We are creating new vibrations, positive vibrations in this area of the heart. Go ahead and slowly start to come out of this meditation. I thank you all for being open to receiving that source energy. I know it is not always easy to feel what we've been holding down in our hearts. And it's not always easy to relive some things that come up. But know that we have the power inside of us anytime we need to give that to source. We don't need to sit with these things. When we sit with these negative, low vibrational energies, we're only hurting ourselves. The pain that you guys are talking about feeling in your body are coming from blockages. And when we start to understand ourselves on this level, we can release those blockages. We don't need to hold on to them. For you guys who aren't familiar with chakra work, I'm going to share this book with you. This is the first book that I got, called Chakras for Beginners. It's by David Pond. It's very, very easy to read. It's a short read, but it gives a ton of great information about where we hold our blockages, how we hold our blockages, and then give some tools on how we can release those. So if you haven't done any chakra work, I'm going to suggest that book to you. This is another tool I use. This is just a wand of selenite. It's a very inexpensive crystal to buy, but it is one of the things that I use in every single one of my healing sessions. I use it when I have mental clutter. I just let this take all of it. It's a clearing stone, so it's gonna clear where you put it, okay? So I would say working with crystals and starting to understand your chakras are super, super important to any sort of energy work. Allowing that energy to flow fluidly through us is how we open up to all of our intuitive gifts, okay? And every single one of us are so powerful. We all have these intuitive gifts inside of us. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. Our body has the ability to heal itself. So I'm so grateful for you guys allowing me to walk you through that meditation.
Thank you.
And I hope it was super helpful for you.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much. I felt a lot of power there, like just holding here.
Yeah, so that hand position is a self-healing hand position. And it's really also great for removing mental clutter and connecting to your heart space. So anytime you need to, please use that. It's I do it daily. I do it daily. So.
So yeah, to add, tomorrow I'm having a really good friend, Nikki Wells. She is classically trained in Indian music. She's going to be accompanying me, and we'll be going through each of the 7 chakras and doing a workshop. And she'll be singing a shloka within Sanskrit for each of the chakras. And so we'll be working in a Sahaja Yoga modality, what I'm most trained in, which is like combining a bit of Reiki with Kundalini yoga, I guess. That's the closest way I can describe it. So that will be probably like one of the highlight sessions, because Nikki's incredibly talented. So definitely tune into that for tomorrow if you guys are interested. So thank you for that, Adriana. Let's see. Mitzi asked, how often should we do that practice to clear more deep blockages?
Honestly, when you start to tune into your body, you're going to understand that you have blockages. Every single one of us do. So honestly, if you can make a daily practice of clearing yourself, and you don't have to do it through that meditation. If you have a couple of minutes and you just want to clear yourself, the selenite wand is really great for clearing. Also, saging and different smudges are great for clearing your space and yourself. So just as often as you can, keep your channels cleared, because they're really affected by so much around us. What we intake into our body, whether it's through food, social media, friends and family, have a huge impact on us. They can create blockages. So as often as you feel you need to, there is no right amount of time or space. It's really just intuitive to you and what you need for yourself.
Great. All right, thank you very much. So now Carlos is going to end with some release, some myofascial release. And again, like this, all of our sessions have neatly tied together. So this is will actually tie into everything we've gone over. It's another form of like moving energy around and stuff. So.
Hey guys.
Hi.
I'd say welcome back, but most of you are like probably here from the last time, so it's us that kind of pop back in again. So we're gonna play with something a bit different. I'm sorry? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I just heard something in the background. This is going to be a little bit different. So this is going to be less movement and more self-touch, working into the magic rivers that are underneath our skin, these long relationships. And it isn't, I don't want you to think of this as you're stretching anything or you're trying to lengthen a muscle. It's not that. It's putting your awareness into places that have been disconnected. It's how to reawaken the intelligence in these relationships. And there's an intelligence into the reason that some of these relationships have been turned off. Our bodies are super smart. The language that they speak is a language of protection. So whether it's trauma or injury or anything else, lifestyle that is formed and shaped and sculpted our bodies along with gravity into these amazing things that keep moving us forward in space. We can also be the caretakers of this. We can be the shepherds of this incredibly beautiful process and make sure that we stay as efficient and playful within our bodies to uncover that magic, to be able to feel at home enough to do all of those other explorations from the safety of this home, of this infinite garden. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to move through some pretty deep places. So as we move through this, I want you to keep your attention, your eyes, almost if you had x-ray vision. And I want you to keep your x-ray vision into the parts of the body that we're going to be working on. Yeah? So a couple of things that we ask you to have. One is a little bowl or a cup of water. That's going to be for later. And one is either some kind of bottle filled with water. So this is a little plastic Coke bottle, or a plastic water bottle would do well. Something with water works well because the intelligence of water being able to conform to tissues, that's a language that our bodies do understand. If you don't have a bottle, if you have a ball, or even something harder, don't worry about it. That'll be good enough. So the first place that we're going to be working on is on the front of our thighs. So I want you to take the bottle or the ball, and I want you to find the space on the front of your thigh. And anywhere on the thigh is going to be okay, but if you can find a spot that's interesting, that's tender, or when you touch it, there seems to be something going on there, that's what I want you to look for. So you're going to place the bottle down, and you're going to lay down on your belly, placing that bottle on the belly of your thigh. In my other leg, I want you to bend your other knee off to the side. If you need to put something under the inside of the knee on this side to make it more comfortable, feel free to. A pillow for your head, a blanket for your head, that'll work well too. Now, once you're there, the first reaction of these tissues, it's intelligent, it wants to protect you. So the first reaction of these tissues could be to tense and harden. So give yourself a few moments to be patient, to let yourself settle. Imagine that you're a free diver and you're sinking in deeper and deeper to the ocean of your experience. And let your eyes close and put your attention as if you could see what's going on underneath your skin. You can let your low belly gently hollow just a millimeter away from the floor. And then keeping that, your only movement is going to be deep breaths, as if you could send your breath down into that area of your pelvis and your thigh. Keep letting yourself settle deeper. The more relaxed that you can be, the better that this is going to work. Because where the real magic is happening isn't in the plastic bottle touching your thigh. It's your nervous system that's rearranging the tensions, rearranging the living fabric of the spider web underneath your skin. And slowly let yourself out and switch. If you were working on your own, I normally tell you to find another spot on your thigh and another spot that you find interesting to spend another minute or so on that other spot. But since I want to give you the experience, we want to give you the experience of a few different places that you can do later, we're going to move on to the other thigh. So you kind of roll back and forward, just looking for a spot that's like, ooh, that's a place I kind of want to be.
You might not have to.
You might not have to. Devon on some of her thigh, yeah, on parts of her thighs, like you might just be like, oh my God, everywhere on my thigh is interesting. So then just pick a spot, use your blanket as a pillow, bend your knee off to the side, hollow your low belly, and then take a few breaths like a free diver. Let your attention and your awareness dive deeper. And imagine your tissues melting. Because while we look at these things as if they were individual muscles, they're long living relationships. And this one on the front of your thigh goes all the way through the front of your body, down to the tops of your feet, through the front of your neck, and behind your ears, behind your skull. Keep sending your breath down into that area. And slowly let yourself out of there as Devon's going to take you on a different spot in the body.
Bring yourself to a comfortable seat, legs crossed if that feels good. Give yourself a breath. And then find your right hand and bring it to the left part of your chest, right below your collarbone. Just let your finger pads sink in, right below your collarbone. Feel around for an interesting spot. Might feel it right away. And then bring your entire palm, the flat palm, to that little spot that you found. Let your tissues sink in to the palm of your hand. Use your other hand on top as support as the tissues sink in. And start to press down and in. So you're trying to find the tug, the tug of your tissues. You can move your head over to the right. Gently move your chin up and down. And roll your head. But search for that little tug. Let yourself slowly sink a little bit deeper. Soft, easy breath. Out of the nose or mouth, whatever feels best.
If your skin feels too dry, you can use a tiny bit of the water in the bowl or in the cup on your hand. So your hand might start to slide down. That's okay.
Keep some kind of movement of the head. When you're ready, slowly release. You can do a little gentle massage of that spot. And then your left hand to the right part of your chest, right underneath your collarbone. Finger pads sink in. Just feel around for an interesting spot. And then bring your entire flat palm to that spot. Press down and in. Let your palm sink deeper into your tissue. Use your other hand on top as support. Same idea, head comes down into the left. I'll let you have your own journey, but move your head in some kind of direction. Search for that tug of your tissue. Sometimes just moving the chin up and down towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. And slowly release, gentle little massage of that spot. And give yourself a breath.
Find your bottle again. And this time we're going to work on the side body. So on these relationships from side to side. And we're going to pick a spot right here. So it's going to be between the top of the pelvis and the bottom of the ribs. So you're going to take your bottle. If you don't have a bottle, you can use the bowl. You're going to take your bottle and you're going to try to place your bottle into that area, into that cave between those two spots. So you can place the bottle down. You're going to lay on your side, looking for the space between your ribs and your pelvis. And then let your body weight come onto the bottle. And again, you can use the pillow or the blanket for your head, or you can use your arm. Devon's going to use the pillow. I'm going to stay up on my arm. And again, that first reaction of the tissue is going to be to defend. Start to straighten your bottom leg. So if you're on your left side, let your left leg go a little straight. Not completely straight, just straight enough until you feel something start to happen under the bottom. Let your low belly hollow. And then deep breaths into that side. You can leave it just with the deep breaths, or you can let your upper body rock an inch back or an inch forward, keeping the awareness down into those tissues. If there's a place that's interesting, let yourself linger there. Belly stays hollow. Deep breath into that side. If you want to do something a little more, you can take tiny little pelvic tuck and untucks. Releasing your pelvis from underneath your ribs. And gently roll yourself out of that area. Other side, lay the bottle down. Find the space between the top of your pelvis and the bottom of your ribs. Lay down onto that spot. And find a place that's relaxed. If you're holding your body with too much tension, those tissues are going to stay hard. They're not going to soften and open. So the more that you can let go, the more that you can drop down. Straighten your bottom leg and keep your top legs a little bit bent. And again, like a free diver, let yourself sink. Belly hollows back, let your upper body gently rock. Like you're nuzzling the bottle deeper into that area. And don't worry if it doesn't feel deep. There's something going on, even if it's not the sensation that you expect. You can add little pelvic tucks. And slowly bring yourself back out of there. Come to sit. Notice how you're feeling too. Notice how your mood is going. Notice sensations in your body as you move through this. Now Devon's going to take you through another one, moving on to the head.
Find a comfy seat. We're going to work on the jaw, so bring your right hand forward. Gently finger pads to the jaw. You can bite down until you find that big muscle in your jaw. Let your finger pads just sink into that muscle, really gentle. Even lean your head, the weight of your head into your finger pads. Or even bring your elbow onto one of your thighs or onto your pillow. Just let your finger pads sink in. You can use your other hand again as support on your wrist. And little tiny movements of your head, almost making a yes or a no. Really gentle, your tissues will start to let the finger pads sink in deeper and deeper on their own. And if you're wanting to move your mouth at all, it's really gentle, tiny, gentle movements. Letting yourself just sink deeper into yourself. Slowly ease your finger pads out of your jaw. Little gentle massage.
And notice the difference between one side to the other before you go to the other side. Notice the difference there.
And then left hand. You might need to bite down again. Find that muscle in your jaw. Finger pads sink in. And then lean the weight of your head into your finger pads. Elbow can come down onto a pillow or your thigh. Use your other hand to support. Little movements of your head. Being really soft, just letting your tissues sink deeper and deeper. Deeper layers of ourselves. Slowly ease yourself out, little massage. Full big breath.
Yeah. And we keep going along the head. The cool thing, one of the most beautiful things about the body is that you can't affect one part without affecting everything. It really is this living spider web, this three-dimensional spider web that stretches out in all directions. So when we're moving, we were wondering, what can we do in such a short amount of time? All the lines end at the head. All the lines, all these connections, most of the big ones end at the head. So we've worked into the jaw. And now if you go up to your temples, and then from your temples, go straight up and back to the sides of your head. And then again, just clench your teeth and look for the movement in these big muscles, the temporalis muscles, that go from the temples, like a hand almost, up and back the sides of your skull, almost like Mercury's wings on the side of your head. Now find those muscles. When you feel them pop out into your fingers, let your jaw go, but with your fingers, just take one side. So let's do the left side of the head first. With your fingers, push around. Don't overdo it until you find a really sensitive sore spot. It shouldn't take too long to find something that makes your eyes kind of twitch. Yeah. So we're going to do something here. So there's a couple ways that we're going to do it. Devon is going to do it more from seated. I'm going to show you a way to do it lying down. So from lying down, I'm going to take my fist sideways, either with these knuckles or these knuckles, and I'm going to lay down as comfortably as I can, and either with left or right hand. I'm going to try to place that sensitive sore spot right into that spot, making a pillow. And again, like a free diver, letting myself drop. And the movement is going to be a gentle rock. Devon is going to do something a little bit different. Devon is finding the same spot, but she's bracing her head and letting the weight of her head fall. So off to the side here, one hand or the other, let yourself fall. Keep your attention right there. Let yourself sink. And then little tiny rocks, almost imperceptible because they're so small. Slow your breath, relax your body. Take one more inhale. And then switch sides, other side. Find the spot on the right side of your head. When you find an interesting spot, if you can't find an interesting spot, anywhere around there will do. Place your knuckle pillow. Take a few breaths to sink. And settle. Do tiny, mini little rocks of the upper body to settle into those tissues. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale, slowly come out of that. Come back up, we'll go on one more place. So the place that we're going now is these muscles. It's actually the muscles of the back relationship of the body, but when they get up into the skull, these muscles, the long train of muscles on the back of connective tissue, wrap over the top of the skull and onto the forehead. So these muscles get tight, they can kind of pull us back, jutting the head forward. The head and the neck, they always take the last of it. So the head and the neck are charged with compensating for whatever's going on underneath. So to release tension in the face, neck, and jaw does a lot for overall mood and even for posture. So what we're going to do here is you're going to take your fingertips. One thing that I like to do here, if you have something that you can lean back against. So if you have a wall that you can lean back against, go ahead and do that. You're going to take your finger pads or even knuckles, and you're going to start right above, the brow of your eyes. If you start right above the bridge of your nose, the brow of your eyes, and you go in first, almost like you're scooping in, and then up towards your hairline. You want to catch that wave of tissue going up like that. If you can't do it with your fingers or that's too much, you can do it with your knuckles, going in first, and then almost scooping up towards your hairline. And then you're going to keep that. I'm going to lean back here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to lean back here. I'm going to settle. I'm going to use one of my legs to brace my elbow, either with the fingertips or with the knuckles. I'm going to go in and up. If you have nails, this is going to be probably use your knuckles here. And then I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to let the weight of my head fall onto my fingertips. And then from here, I'm going to do tiny little movements of my face. Tiny little movements of my eyebrows. As my fingers start to slide up towards my forehead, up towards the hairline. So again, I can come back down, go in. I can go one side more than the other, so I can go a little bit more to the right. Go in first, right at the above of the eyebrows. And then scoop up towards the hairline, keep the pressure. Then drop the weight of my head. And then little movements of my facial muscles. And do little rocks of your head. And take it one more time, the other side, above the left eyebrow. Scooping in. And then up towards the hairline. Little rock. Go ahead and let that go. Come to a seat, close your eyes. And again, feel free to take these with you. It's your body. These are ways to tap into something special inside of you. In a very simple way. The magic is already there. As you close your eyes, take a few breaths into what you're feeling. Notice if there's any change, any shift. Don't worry about putting words on it. You don't have to. Take a deep in. The soft sigh. Go ahead and blink, open your eyes. Thank you, guys. Hope everyone's feeling pretty good after that. Yeah. How you guys doing? Right. Just up, I just saw you pop up from all the way down there, and that was funny. Yeah.
I don't want it to stop.
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, you guys might feel a little high and a little bit loopy after this. I mean, it's deep. It doesn't seem very deep, but even working on the superficial tissues, there's a way to go deeper. I mean, come follow us. We'll get you deeper. But everything is connected. So if you do it with that kind of intention and that kind of care, like even superficial can go very, very deep. It's not a matter of how much somebody can push with their elbow into your tissues, how much you can, like kick your own ass rolling onto something. The intelligence there responds to the language. It's something that Jasmine was saying earlier that was so beautiful. It was waiting for the right words, for the softness to touch into that intelligence, to let go. It's your nervous system that does it, not the manual labor of beating on your muscles.
Yeah, I can feel like that because we've been planning a lot and, like reading on the screen, like all this is like pulled, like your whole scalp is pulled and like thinking,
Yeah.
like I'm making extra thinking faces and I could feel, that's why I didn't want to stop. I was like, oh, that's deep. And now I feel like relaxed. Like my face just feels like, oh. How do you feel?
Man, absolutely. And it really is like a cowl that starts to happen. So anything that happens in our bodies, if we're scared or cold or whatever it is to protect an injury and we go here, it's like our head can't stay on our body, so our head's going to compensate for that. Like come in here, just kind of like to keep lifting, because it's not going to stay here. The eyes are going to lift. But after a while, all this extra tension, the jaw starts to take it. These muscles here, the forehead muscles, the side of the head muscles, so we start to kind of get pulled down into ourselves. And then it becomes like a vicious cycle, right? So then even when the actual stress goes away, workshops are done, it's Monday, everybody's super happy, everybody thinks that you guys are total badasses for putting this together. But if your tissues stay here, it's going to pull your mood back, because there is no difference between mood and the physical reactions. Like those, we divide them intellectually to talk about them, but they're no different.
Okay, Yaya says, I was feeling cracking in the tissue on my forehead.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Into those adhesions. I don't like to use that word, but there really is like all of these tendrils that go between the layers, and what we're looking for, even when we're moving, it's not the idea of stretch. It's to get the layers that are laying on top of each other, to get them to talk to each other, to glide, to be alive. And when those adhesions get stuck, if something's been held in a very long time in a certain position, like those layers get glued on top of each other. So when you're moving through that, Devon talks about it, instead of crackling, Devon talks about like bubbles.
There's little bubbles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
bubbling up to get into that you'll start to feel things like that. But that's totally normal. That means that, like, keep playing with it. Don't think of this as like a one time you're done. Think of this as a constant way. It's like a really sweet thing for you to do for yourself.
I can honestly say, like, this specific type of myofascial release, like, has, like, healing and trauma for me is synonymous with this kind of body work. And so if you're someone who does energy work, if you're someone who does, you know, chakra work, like, you have to release these areas of tension. And like, there's times, some of the greatest, deepest trauma release, like this morning, Mary was spending the night, and I told her, like, if you live with me, I cry often rolling on balls. Like, I'll be rolling on something. And this morning I did, like, under my right heart and under my left here, and these very specific childhood memories came up, and I just started weeping, and I was like, I remembered when I was 12 and this exact thing happened. And there's a book about trauma called The Body Keeps the Score. And a lot of times, like, memories are too painful to keep in our consciousness. So to protect us, our body will go put it down somewhere different, and doing this stuff, sometimes you just will feel like, oh my God, there's this emotion that I didn't know was still there. I've done all this healing, I've done all this work in the mental space, but it's still in my body. And so, like, this kind of work is like, and this is something you can do watching a show, like laying on your jaw, you can do listening to audiobook, like on the bus. I'm always massaging myself. So thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah, and so that was so beautiful. It really is, and there is no difference between that trauma and the way that and we're part of some of these trainings where, and it's done with such a sweet intention that they're trying to help people with their trauma, but they're going right at the trauma. They're going right at the psychology. They're going right at the memory, and there's a resistance to that. And the reason there's a resistance to that is because of what you just said. It's a beautiful protection system. It's like, when we're ready, when we feel at home, that stuff has a way of just coming up and being like, okay, now we're ready to be dealt with. So putting someone at home here first, where it's like, okay, I'm home, I'm safe, I understand that I'm good, the magic of what's here, I get it. That stuff automatically will be like, oh shit, we're ready. Cool. Here's something to deal with. Here's a memory. Let's rework the story of what happened, and let's redo this, instead of going right at the psychology of it, where all of a sudden you could see someone when they're not ready for trauma, and like someone, it's this. And they can go through it psychologically, but there's almost like forcing someone into an intimate eye-gazing situation when they're not ready. You can see them, it's like, they'll look at you, but something behind them is holding. So putting someone safe here first, letting them understand the magic there first.
Yeah, and to add, like, the problem with, like, like, I'm gonna get a PhD in psychology, so, like, I love psychology, and I think by putting so much of meditation and psychology in the headspace, it says that all of the intelligence is here. And so it actually really removes all of the intelligence that is throughout the whole body. And so a lot of, like, our egocentric culture is like, oh, the brain is the source of intelligence because there's all these nerves there, but actually the entire body is a brain, So if you're only looking for removing negative thoughts and trauma here, you're actually, like, really limiting yourself. So I was so happy to, like, get this well-rounded like group of people who are doing, like, energetic and body work, and like really, this is what the word holistic means. So, you know, like if you're someone who, again, like if you're just doing yoga and you haven't played around with this, like I wanted to create a playground where people could get a little taste of like all of these different things, and just know that variety is where nature thrives, right? Like if you grow a garden and do permaculture, that's the best way. When you're planting a bunch of different things, it's like you're doing a monocrop, if it's like Reiki, Hatha yoga, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the way that nature works. So it's so beautiful to see all of these people with all of these different modalities and all of this wisdom. And we thank you guys for tuning in.
There's a lot of comments. There's the book, The Body Keeps the Score, move up. Michelle said, I found a lot of tension in my side body, especially my left side. Danny said, I felt massage pressure, stress, weave is like bubbles. Daniel, I felt massage pressure, stress, weave is like bubbles. Great self-care. And then Michelle said, love the release. I'm going to keep working on this and exploring my body. Thank you, Devon and Carlos. And then the Facebook Carlos Chow, right?
No, the Facebook group, it's where all the cool stuff is. I mean, you can feel free to follow my Facebook, Carlos Dow Movement on Instagram. Those are cool. We put a lot of stuff there, but really where we put like classes, videos, and things for people to work on their own is in the Facebook group, which is Fluid Us, FLUID Us Magicians. But if anywhere that you guys get us, I'll send it to you. It's Carlos Dow Movement, or the Facebook group is Fluid Us, one word, Fluid Us Magicians.
Right, got it there. Did anybody want to say anything else? Well, my overall experience. Oh,
Go ahead, Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine.
Yeah, I have a question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to myofascial release with a ball or a bottle, I find it kind of challenging to find this point where it is okay for my tissue to release, because I kind of feel so much pain when I'm doing it, and I don't know if that's okay, because then my nervous system goes into, fight or fly mode. Or how can I find this balance of being okay with this pain?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's such a great point, because if there is that extra layer of pain, and even people that are like, no pain, no gain, I don't care. I'll sit there and I don't care how much it hurts. It's not the same thing. The body is not going to react the same way. So that's one of the reasons that I ask for the bottle with water, because it has a little bit more of that intelligent give. But there's two things that you can do, more than two, but two that come to mind. Change the tool, and especially if it's on a part of your body that you can use your fingers, your own hand, that's ideal. That's ideal, because this is much more intelligent than anything else. And there is something when tissues touch tissues. They've tried this kind of work on patients, like the kind of work that I do, like body work, like hands-on stuff, where we're like deeply affecting the connective tissue. They've done experiments where they've done that work on a live. First, they've done it with a live animal, and then a recently butchered animal. The recently butchered animal, the tissue is still alive, but there was no change at all in the tissue. They also did it with a human, awake and aware, with their intention in the tissues, great change. That same person, that same client, under general anesthesia, same body part, no change. It's the nervous system in the tissues that makes that change. So it's not me doing something to you or the ball doing something to you. It's in relationship with that. So finding a place where your body feels safe, where your body feels like, not that there's not going to be intense sensation, that's normal, but that like sharp that your body is jumping away from it is too much. What I would suggest is finding somewhere else along that same line. So if you're looking on your thigh, maybe it's further down your thigh. If you're looking along the side of your thigh, maybe along the side of your thighs too much. Maybe you're working here. If you're working here is too much, maybe go up higher into the lats. Finding somewhere down the map of the body that's within that same relationship that might be less sensitive first might be a way to go. Another thing that you can do is change the tool. Find a softer ball. And even if it feels like, oh, this doesn't feel like it's doing anything, trust. This isn't about power and like sharpness. This is about putting your awareness there. Put something there that you can feel, even if it's like the softest thing, soft towel. Put your awareness there. Sit there with some patience, and you'll be surprised. Just putting your awareness, breathing.
So that your body can actually relax.
Yes.
Yeah, I also. Go ahead. Oh, I also, for me, what helps, like when I get in a really painful spot, because this is chronic, I have chronic, so it's really much management. I speak to my muscles. I say, relax.
Yeah.
I say, calm down. I think of how my body's trying to protect me, and what I would say to someone who wanted protection. I tell my muscles, I say, it's okay. You can release, relax. And I just breathe and I say, you are safe. It's okay. And then when I say that, my body, like the nervous system responds. And so I actually have complex PTSD, and I don't know if anyone else does. And it's from like childhood abuse, childhood trauma. And we all have childhood trauma. And complex PTSD, we have what's called body armoring. And so your nervous system as a child is in fight or flight mode. So your body is always preparing to fight, flight, or freeze. And so even when the threat is not in your environment, when you grow up, your body is like, I need to hold tension somewhere to protect myself. So I try to like tell my body what I needed to hear when I was a child. You know, I say, you are safe, because your body's like, oh, I don't want to release that. I'm holding on, I'm protecting. And then you get into a spot and it's like, no, don't go there. I stored this trauma there. And so in a way, it's trying to kind of protect you. So if it helps, like for me, I just say, relax.
That's great.
Yeah. And it will go away. You're safe.
That's great. And even to add to that, which is so beautiful, what you said, absolutely. There is nothing broken with your body. This isn't a broken thing that you're going through, and that's super important. This isn't like this is a way to fix you. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to fix. There's a way to understand it, to explore it, to help you do the things that you love to do. That's all this is. How can I be more playful? How can I enjoy more? How can I take more of the world in? That's what this is. Not broken. Everything in your body, trauma, those things that that people are like trying to fix. It's not fixing. How beautiful is it that your body stepped up when you needed it most and got you through? I know it got you through because you're fucking here. Like you're fucking here, and that's magic. So that's like, wow, to start. So even looking at it like that, that's such an important part. Like to be able to stand in front of this in awe. So it's like, no, like it's not don't listen, like listen more, like understand, like spend time with it. Like the more time you spend there, the more you'll understand the language. The more you'll understand it, and we can help for sure. Send us messages. Something doesn't feel right? Absolutely, send us a message. We'll answer. We always do. Sometimes it takes long. We'll answer for sure. We'll answer. We'll be like, no, that's normal. Like take the time. You'll be good.
That's a beautiful thing. Like Carlos and Devon are of service, and that's what I love. Like Mary and I, we're like, yeah. I mean, we have to run a business. You know, we have to make money, but ultimately, what it is like to be of service. So I love that I can always message Carlos whenever he visits that, you know, I have chronic pain somewhere new. I'm like, how do I get in here? And he'll come in, like, you know, go out of his way to like show me. So it's really helpful. One more question from Daniel. He said, what about the cervical or neck area? How to release
Beautiful.
that?
I wish we had more time to come on the Facebook group or send me a message. There's different things that we can do there, because there's a couple of different places that pull there. One would be the SCMs, and this one with the chest, that comes up this line, that comes up the SCMs behind the neck, and it's one of those places that pull forward. So getting into these, I can show you how to do a release for the sides, and there's also a release back here behind the neck. So there's a few other ones that we can absolutely do. I'd like, send me a message. I don't want to kind of like Yeah, I know we're kind of getting to the end of this, but send me a message. I'll make a video for you, and you guys aren't going to bother me because a lot of times the questions that you guys have, you know, the hundreds of people on the group are so it's kind of like I'll do it for you, but it's valuable for all of us. So feel free to ask the question, Daniel. I'd be happy to do that one for you tomorrow, man. I'll do one for you because a lot of times what happens, two areas. First, there's this pull on the front, and there's this shortening on the back. So working into these muscles here is going to be a good start. Working into the chest here, dropping the chin, picking up the slack here, and keeping this pulling down. Yeah, and even just putting your fingers on the sternocleidomastoids and pulling down the tissues of your neck. And again, soft. That's a little bit more surfacey. I'll show you how to do something deeper with a little bit more time. That's the place that you can go. But yeah, there's definitely ways to get into that, and that's a big one, dude. That like compression of the cervical spine. That's a big one.
All right. Well, that is all we have time for, and thank you all for joining. We just get longer every time. I mean, do you mind? I personally love it. I love letting it be organic and flow, and we still have most of the people here, so it's fine. I mean, it's late for us, but we just gotta make it till Monday, and then we're gonna have some margaritas by the pool. No. We love everyone, and we're so happy you tuned in. Today's theme was self-love, and you know, we did some energy healing, some writing, healing the body, and tomorrow, what do we have in store?
Tomorrow we're going to go over numerology. I'm going to help you assess your birth chart to find like your purpose and blocks and gifts and talents. And then we're going to go over EFT tapping on your meridian points for financial success.
Yeah, and we'll have another movement workshop with my friend Thomas. He does like Feldenkrais. It's like a really like soft tissue kind of movement. It's very like related with what Carlos does, like kind of releasing these tension lines, but it's very, very soft and subtle. And I think we have Yaya, my friend. Are you tomorrow, Yaya?
Missy.
And Mitzi. So we're going to be doing some breath work. And then in our evening time, Yaya's doing releasing inner child trauma. And then in the evening, we'll do some Kundalini awakening. We'll have some Indian shlokas and just more to come. So if you guys enjoyed this, please share it, of course, with anyone who you think can benefit. I personally think everyone can benefit, but share it and support us, engage with the group. Reach out if you want to contact with any of the guests for their wisdom or services. And that would be all. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for showing up, and honor yourself, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.